Yeah, she
It
told me to
does.
text her before we go live.
Oh, you should text her because we're going live.
Yeah, I figured we were about to do that.
Wah, wah, wah. Bam! Bam!
Hey,
Bam! Bam!
slam bam, thank you, ma'am.
Why is it knocked out? Oh, there we are. I sees us.
Hey,
Whoa now. Whoa, with it flashing in the face. Whoa, whoa,
whoa,
whoa.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
There was a moment there. Lights are on. Yay. I know, it doesn't. The lights have been on the entire time you've been watching us, all 5 seconds.
Right, right.
So we had a big plan for this morning.
Yes, we did. We did.
I got up, got the cameras all situated. They were moved around. For those of you that don't know, there's a couch over here. There could be additional people. There's even festival seating. Oh my God, it's a whole thing. So I got up and I'm on it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? I might not have taken my meds this morning, but anyways.
Really?
Well, I don't normally get up at 6:30. Those of you who are like, well, 6:30 is early. It's not even that early. Well, I know. I used to live a world where got up at 5:30 every day.
I think we should stop that thought. That 6:30 is not that early. I think we should stop that mindset right
Well,
there.
I don't. I actually I like to get up with the sun. I find that once you get away from a clock, it actually kind of sets in that it's normal. But I love vacation. But anyways, thoughts of something that might happen a decade from now. But so I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off. Not really. I was pretty casual about it. I felt good about it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like things were moving in the right direction, and then the power went
Boom.
out.
Lights went out.
10 after 8 ish.
Yeah.
About. Don't you guys love my ability to tell
I'd say
time?
10 after 8, yeah.
Echo hates me with a passion. Not like hates me with a passion like about like life things, but I hope she loves me as much passion, but hates me with a passion for the fact that yeah, noon 30 o'clock ish, about 12:15.
Somewhere in that time frame.
Kinda,
Yeah.
maybe. I'll be on at some point.
Right?
Catch it on the YouTube channel if you need to. Next week, catch it up on.
Spotify.
Well, I was gonna say like Apple Music and
Apple
stuff.
Music,
I mean,
okay.
Anchor's our distribution. Spotify's one of the places it's going.
Yeah.
As opposed to taking full justification as we're distributing to Spotify, we are distributing to all of the platforms. So that our goal here is distribution over, I don't know, endorsing a platform.
I wouldn't say that's endorsing a platform.
No, I know, but in the current moment, I'm not endorsing a platform.
I got you.
I'm actively not endorsing a platform
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know that to some extent I hear. You know what? If they're not paying artists, and me as an artist, I got to kind of be on board with artists, and that at the same time, everybody's got a right to free speech, but I also think that it's worth making a point that, you know what? I don't know. Dude, I'm dancing here. I'm dancing for all I'm worth.
That's okay.
I
That's
mentioned
okay.
it's Friday.
We're
Welcome
tap
to
dancing a little bit.
Friday.
We're tap
I am
dancing a little bit.
I'm so glad it's Friday. So I wrote lights.
Lights.
Our topic of the day is lights.
Flashing
Well, no,
lights.
lights, action, camera.
Yeah.
Getting things in line was what I was thinking about.
Lights, camera, action.
Yeah, I was thinking about the fact that, like, you don't hit action before you hit lights and camera. You don't get moving until you're already up to speed.
Yeah.
Lights going out today might have felt like maybe a little bit I was skipping to action.
Right.
That we were working our way in that general direction. God, it
Right.
was good to see Arnada this morning. You know what? It's good to have her around. Such a positive spirit. And we're all trying to figure out the ins and outs of lines and
Mm.
oof.
It was
Well, no, in a good way. No,
slightly contentious, but it wasn't.
Well,
It wasn't. I don't think it was meant to be.
I don't. I don't. No, I don't think it was. I don't think any of us meant any maliciousness. No, I
I
think
don't
that
think
was the
anyone
cool
meant
part.
to have any sort of contention in the conversation.
Well, that in the end, That's what this show's about to some extent. Not in the idea of contention like we're at war or
No.
battling, but that we
Just
kind of
like-
discuss the fact that
that we
we
think
know
differently.
there's
You know?
the world is real,
Right.
and how do we figure out where the lines are,
Yeah.
so that we can, work together, be here on this
Right.
whatever the hell this is, this little blue marble seen
This
from a
little
distance.
Blue marble.
Great Carl Sagan quote. It's the first picture from, I think, Voyager 2 sent back of the Earth, and you can see all of the galaxies laid out behind us, and there is a tiny little blue speck to remind you of how important you are. And Mr. Sagan wrote he had a little a dot. See, I'm up in the damn thing probably. A dot and an arrow,
Mm-hmm.
and it said, "You are here." And in that moment in history, in that moment of time, every single human being you had ever known or ever heard of
Right.
was in that picture. That every single person out there, one of your forefathers or foremothers, because there was only about 5 billion of us at the time, I think, or maybe it was only 3.
Okay.
But anyways, they exist in that picture.
What? So it's like an old picture?
Well, it was 1980s, old to you,
Okay.
I think 80s. But anyways, the point being though, in that, actually, it's further back.
Yeah, because of the time delay.
Well, but then it's not that far. Anyway,
Right.
I'm complicating the physics of it. I will get notes on this later from somebody, I'm sure. The point being, every human being ever was in that photo. That tiny little speck is all existence as we know it,
Mm-hmm.
in amongst
Yeah.
a backdrop.
Everything.
So as we get all into our egos and our ids and our
Mm-hmm.
getting ahead of ourselves and what's nots is, we need to keep it in perspective.
Yeah.
The universe is not in a hurry. It's doing its thing.
I don't think I've read enough of the thoughts of old men.
The thoughts of old men.
I don't think I've read enough of that stuff.
Well, I think that the trick is to find the middle road between the blindness of youth
Mm-hmm.
and the oversightedness sometimes of age.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you can become frozen because you can see the million possible things
Well,
that can go wrong,
the
or you
youth-
can never be
Yeah.
frozen and jump off cliffs.
The youth is forced to look ahead and see everything that they could possibly do and get overwhelmed by that decision, and the old is forced to look back and see everything that has happened and that they have done, and want to warn everyone else about, hey, don't go down this path. I've done it.
Right.
I've literally done it, and it doesn't lead to what I want. And I don't think that if you want something similar to what I said I wanted as a kid, then I feel like you should probably go this way. But
Well, it's hard.
it's hard to balance that.
because I can't see the rest of your path.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I get where you're trying to go, but I don't
Right.
even know really where you're coming from.
Right. Realistically.
That as much as I can claim I know where you're coming from,
Right.
that's the difference. That's perspective right there.
No, because the first piece I realized in perspective, in learning about perspectives, was like, I literally can't possibly know where anyone is coming from. Like everything a person tells me about their life
Mm-hmm.
could be fabrication. I
Well,
don't know. Like, unless I mean, given that I know them and
Right.
I've heard from other people, okay, so like other people corroborate this, so it probably did happen and it probably affected you in these ways. But like, just the thought that everything that someone tells me could be
Well,
complete fiction.
and
know,
not
is-
fiction like they're
Not
trying to
fiction to
lie to
them.
you.
Not fiction to it could literally be what their perception of reality is.
I always think of,
Yeah.
I see the most about a person's perception of reality, excuse me, in how they perceive other people to be behaving. So the behaviors they're worried about
Our behaviors are
are
worried about in
behaviors that are
themselves.
places their mind would go to.
Yes.
like, oh, what if somebody did that? And I'm like, ooh,
Mhm.
God, I never would have thought of
It's
that.
usually either something to that effect has happened to them and they've seen it in someone else, or it's like they see it in themselves and they're really scared of where that can go.
See, my problem is I always perceive it as they see it in themselves.
I think it's both.
I think it's probably a
They've either
combination.
seen it in other people or they've seen it like cuz sometimes you encounter a person that's like you're talking to them and the conversation is really good and then all of a sudden they do something and you're like I've seen that before.
All of a sudden, all your
All of
spidey
a sudden
senses
all your
go off.
spider senses tingling and then what can happen is you can start to treat that person like they were the person that happened previously in your life, but you don't even realize it. I've done that plenty of times.
Do you know that spidey senses has also been referred to as Peter tingles?
Peter Tinkles. That's funny.
He was very upset. Aunt May kept
That's
trying to
very
refer to them as Peter Tingles.
that
And that just doesn't sound right.
does not sound right, no.
That is not what it means when the Peter tingles. Anyways, point is, it's Friday.
Yeah,
We've
Friday.
had some amazing shows this week. We've had a live guests.
Yeah,
A couple.
we did that.
We did that. We're going to do a lot more of that in the coming weeks.
Yes.
We've obviously let the cat out of the bag that we're talking about a morning show. We were talking about kind of a more clips-based show. We're going to have
Yeah.
some reviews of the afternoon show.
Yeah,
Maybe some talking to some people.
maybe.
Check the weather,
Shoot, might even,
might even line up some people to check the weather. Why check the weather in Columbus? I know what it is here.
right?
Why would I give today's weather?
Cold. That's what it is.
It's not bad. It's
Not bad, right?
for those of you who missed the farm report this morning.
Well, out there on the farms, this morning it was in the low 30s, though has risen to the mid 40s. We expect to see a high of about 52 this afternoon, though we're going to continue with gray skies and partly cloudy. Thank you so much.
The heater.
The heat is on.
Dun-na-na-na.
It's on the street.
It's on the street.
Yeah, that's where the heat is.
Is that a
The
song?
heat is on.
The heat is on the street. Yeah,
I made
references
you.
are hard.
I made you watch Beverly Hills Cop.
I did watch Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah. The references, man, they slip sometimes, and
I know.
sometimes
I'm
they
trying
stick,
to educate them, folks. I swear.
Sometimes they slip.
trying to
and
give 'em a
sometimes
proper
they stick,
education.
you know?
Some Bill Murray's is. He needs a little bit of that that John fella Belushi.
Well, frankly,
I don't give a damn.
the education that I see is throwing shit at the wall, and some of it stick, and some of it don't.
That is kind of the education we're going with. Yeah.
That's okay though. That's okay though, because that's how you educate yourself. That's how you educate yourself. You read a lot of stuff and you watch a lot of stuff and you do a lot of stuff, and then
Test.
some of it sticks and some of it don't. That's the way that you get that done.
See, everybody just criticizing how late we are. And then Arnada being like, you guys. Like she had nothing to do with it.
She put a heart in front of
Like
it.
I wasn't freaking out. Getting ready to put the damn panda in the chair. I'm just saying, I had the panda.
That's funny.
I was going to put the panda in the chair. Everybody would have known immediately, though, because the panda's taller. Jeez. Not really. The panda's shorter.
Yeah.
Asian. Pandas. They live in China. Why are you? What was that about? Man, these kids today are sensitive. So what you got going on this weekend, man?
What do I got going on?
What you
this
got going on,
weekend?
man? Hey, man, what you be doing with the weekend,
I don't
man?
know. I don't know. Really don't know.
I've heard
I
there's.
should probably do a thing, but
I've heard.
mhm,
We were talking about bowls and empty bowls.
mhm.
The best bowl is a super one, and I've heard that that's actually coming up this
Oh
weekend.
yeah, that is a thing. That I forgot that they're doing
A
that
bowl
this
of
week.
super.
Bowl of super.
A bowl of super.
Oh yeah, because you can't refer to it as anything other than a bowl of super.
It's a really great bowl,
yeah,
but it isn't that other word.
yeah. We'd get sued if we.
Is it
say
the
other
greatest
thing.
bowl? No, it's just a bowl that's super.
Yeah.
One of those bowls.
Did they do that with the bowl that's rose as well?
No,
Okay,
because
cool,
I think
cool,
it's
cool.
because maybe I think you can say Rose Bowl. Oh no, we were taken down for saying Rose Bowl.
Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
Imagine we get a cease and desist in the
If
mail.
if one of the 5 people out there sends us a cease and desist from the NFL, it will really make my day.
Oh, that'd be fun. I'd take a
I'm
picture.
willing to settle out of court with.
I'd take a picture of it.
I would frame that. I would feel noticed.
Like, can you give me $10,000?
So if I kneel before the program,
right?
will I make national news?
Small Podcast was hit with the cease and desist by the Rose Bowl.
By the Rose Bowl.
Wait, no, the Bowl of Rose, because we can't say that because we will get hit by a cease and desist as well.
That sounds like a bowl full of rose.
Full of row.
Like rose,
Like
like
a coli-
festival
like the
seating
Coliseum or
in a
something?
bowl. Yeah, like a Coliseum bowl. Now that'd be a really super bowl. I mean,
Colossal Bowl.
that'd be a great bowl. That bowl
Colossal
would be
bowl.
super. I mean,
Yeah.
if there was a bowl, a
I don't think
Coliseum-sized
that would
bowl.
be super. I think it would be colossal.
Oh, it'd be a colossal bowl. Damn, you
Colossal
might be
Bowl,
right.
Yeah.
We should trademark that. So no one can.
So now
Man, that bowl was colossal.
So now we have to sue everybody, just like the Bowl of Super does.
Did I hear you say colossal bowl on your show? I'm gonna have to send you a cease and desist.
Cut it out.
You took my job.
Dirt, dirt.
So, getting it in order,
Mm-hmm.
not feeling like. I feel like sometimes I get rushed by my own enthusiasm. It's not like an outside thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's that same impatience. It's that pushing something to happen faster than, that you're trying to roll the camera before you're even there.
I think the universe is gonna stop you when it needs to. I think the universe has a way of being like, slow down.
Slow down.
You know, and if you don't need to slow down, I think it's gonna let you. It's gonna let you do what you're gonna do. You know.
Oof.
I don't know, but I can't really draw. I can't. It's hard to draw much meaning from an occurrence like a. What do you call a blackout?
Like an African American out.
My God.
I thought we weren't supposed to say the other. Man, I keep trying, bro.
I can say all of the terms.
Oh, can you?
Well, no, officially I probably shouldn't say all of the terms, but I probably could.
I probably could. Do you have like I have a driver's license that says which restrictions apply to me. Do you have a card? We were watching Key and Peele the other day, and it was a swatch. It was a color swatch. And then they had an app eventually that
like,
could tell you which things you could say.
No, it was like, can I say it? Not in this lifetime. I was like,
But the reality is, right, you can't, it's not like you can plan for a blackout, but it does sometimes feel like I have tried to take the position.
I think
and
it feels serendipitous in my
yes,
Yeah.
I have tried to take the position, though I don't think of it as soothsaying, though it could be. So in other words, trying to predict the future based on something that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Are there moments where I go, you know what, the reason there are speed bumps in my road is because I needed to slow down?
I like to think of dreams like that, like sometimes, but I don't put too much stock in it. Like, I like to think that the subconscious always knows what's going on and where your life is supposed to go, but like your conscious mind is constantly like trying to downplay it.
Or
Like,
so.
so when you sometimes I believe when you have dreams, you're literally slipping into your subconscious and your brain is trying to tell you where to go. But I could be completely wrong.
Well, or that you're working.
You know?
See, and the way I think of dreams is like
You're working through the stuff that you
Right.
didn't get to work through while you were awake.
think of it like a computer running through simulations.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not saying it's
It's
always
something like that. It's
but
not
that it's-
always correct, but there's one simulation that's probably
trying different ways to
Yeah.
put the pieces together
Right.
and just going, ooh, these pieces. This sometimes it's ooh, the way that you're trying to put those pieces together don't
Yeah.
work, and sometimes
Sometimes-
it's ooh, this other way might work.
sometimes the phrase "let me sleep on it" is literally exactly what you need.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's exactly what you need. Is you need to like sit with this idea in your brain and just noodle on it. you know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I also think it's important to give other people the opportunity to do that. Sometimes I like to say, I like to give ideas and then just be like, all right, I don't want to touch the rest of that idea. I just want you to let you noodle on that.
Let that
And
seed
then,
sit.
and then I'll go back and I'll noodle on it too. And we'll figure out something in the morning. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's, yeah, let that seed sit. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? Why don't I take what you've given me away, and you
Right.
take what I've
I've
given
given
you,
and then we'll just noodle on it.
well,
You know?
there's no point in us hitting against each other. What we have to do is
Yeah.
both of us kind of absorb a little bit.
Because I think part of it is when you don't fully understand an idea, pitching an idea can be complicated. Just because of the fact that you don't fully know where you're going with it. So how am I gonna try and get across what I'm trying to do if I don't fully know what I'm doing yet?
Well, yeah, and sometimes sometimes it's okay. I'll realize how my approach is coming across when I know I don't mean it that way and rethink it.
Uh-huh.
I'll talk about conversations with people sharpening my swords.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that isn't like I'm going off to battle. I mean like, oh, okay. That isn't it's like learning your moves.
I think
So when you get questions, it makes me
Yeah.
not always sometimes it reinforces, sometimes it changes something. Sometimes it goes, oh, okay, I'm not relating this in a way that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like sometimes I can sit back and be like, okay, my brain is just running with this. Like it's literally just running around and just not even it's like latching on to pulling reasons out of nowhere to not do this or to do this. And what I need right now is to sit and have it in my brain and just do that.
Right.
And just maybe even meditate on it.
That
Like,
your own bias is finding an answer as opposed
I'm
to
finding an
your-
answer through prior understanding as opposed to sitting and trying to work with something new. You know?
No, I
And-
definitely
and
understand
that-
that.
Like I definitely think that knowing when to take a break and just all right, let me just
Good news.
Yeah,
Good news.
good news.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
It's almost time to take a
Friday.
break.
Right? Right?
For those of you who think that all we do is take breaks. But, I mean, no, it's a good thing that, I mean, even though, okay, we're in a weird world.
Mm-hmm.
Our office, our living world are all very intermixed.
Yeah.
And so even when we're not working and then you sit down and you go, okay, well, I need to do this much of this. Or,
Right.
oh my God, I had this thought. I need to get that done or whatever. So we kind of,
Yeah.
we work weird hours for one thing,
We do.
but weird days. We try to not work on Sunday.
Yeah.
Not the having a day of rest is not a bad idea. Plus, like I said, ours is a little disjointed, as you may have noticed, Echo. Yeah.
See, what my problem is, I can work really really hard for a really really long while, and then halfway through I'll tap out and I'll need a break, and then I'll come back at it, and I'll be slow at it, and then I'll have to like work back up to working really hard again. And what I'm trying to work towards is literally just putting in a basic amount of effort every day, and being able to just put in that basic amount of effort, and then by the end of the week I just calm and just sit
Yeah.
and just relax, just breathe.
So next week. You can catch up from this week and maybe next week. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, I'm gonna have to stop my because I already know what's gonna happen this weekend. Literally, I'm gonna want to sit down, and I'm gonna sit down, and then as soon as I want to sit down, I want to get back to it, and then it's like, dude, you didn't even give yourself 5 minutes.
You tend to be a little bit, yeah.
Like I'm very very impatient because of the fact that I know that there's so much that I want to get done, but I have to get used to the idea that you can only get so much done today.
Well, and so that also that in learning how to stop, starting's easier.
Yeah.
That people always want to go start with start, but sometimes it's better to start with stop.
Yeah.
So that you like, okay, I'm coming to a halt, and at this time I work on this.
Right.
And when I'm done with that, I'm done with that, and I move on to this piece.
Right.
So that there's a start-stop routine. I know, Mom. I'm not claiming I'm good at it. I'm just claiming I read the books.
No, but it's like a lot of times I can be so good at figuring out where the problem is and what I need to do to fix it.
Right.
that I immediately want to jump into fixing it without taking the time to actually, all right, I just need to noodle on that. I need to figure this out. Not even just I need to figure this out. I need to sit with it and just
Mm-hmm.
let it be on my brain. That's it. I know the solution. All right, cool. When it comes time to do it, I just need to do it.
Right. Right.
And this time that I'm taking right now is not the time to fix it.
Well, I think of it like the one I always think of is like when you take an airplane somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They always tell the adults to put their oxygen mask on first,
Right.
because then you can actually put oxygen masks on
On other
kids.
people, yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
That as much as you want to go with excitement every direction, you got to put your oxygen mask on first.
Right.
You know, if you don't, you're gonna fall over. You know, you're gonna get there and be like, and no one's getting it. The one I used to tell people, so like when I would travel, I would work with different crews wherever I went, and one of my speeches was about getting to know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Was that I don't need anybody to be a ferret on crack, because
Yeah.
you'd always invariably, if you had a decent sized crew of 4, 6, 7, 8 people, whatever, you'd have a couple that were trying to prove they ought to be the one in charge under you, like you're in charge, but so there's and so they'd run around trying to prove that, and then be worthless the entire rest of the day. 9 times out of 10 they would have hurt themselves trying to pick up something too heavy, or they just would be just out of it. They didn't have the constitution. So I would look at people and go, so now I'm telling you what we're going to do. We're all going to work steady and together, and then it'll be done at the end of the day. No one will have had to do that.
Yeah.
And I used to always tell them, I was like, okay, so listen, I know a couple jokes.
Mhm.
If you know a couple jokes, and we all just tell a couple jokes all day, we're going to kind of like work steady, laugh our way through the day, and get done at the same exact time and not hate each other.
Right.
This is a choice we can make. Or,
Right.
if you want,
We could work at our own pace and just piss each other off.
or we can just be jerks and I can fight with you the whole
Right,
time, and I
right,
can
right,
work
right,
on
right.
trying to get you guys to do stuff, or we can just do this together.
Right.
I'm not gonna like point my fingers and just say, "Hey, you do it."
Like,
I'm gonna do it
let's do it.
alongside you, and let's
Yeah.
all work together and
Yeah.
yada yada, camaraderie and whatnot.
Kumbaya.
But with the overall idea that there's something to be said for taking a minute of forethought can be worth, I don't, you know what? There's pounds and something else involved in that whole thing.
I think I'm so good at treating life like a ferret on crack. I'm so good at it. I'm an expert.
This is the moment I would like to point out that we are the show about not putting on a show. And though I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to disagree.
No, seriously, like I think
that's my point.
I
That
treated-
very much
I
you're being
treated-
honest was my point.
I treated school like that. I oftentimes treat music like that. And I even treat this like that. And it eats at me that I'm not able to just calm down sometimes. Like
Oh, I understand.
everything can be so erratic. Like it I remember one time I walked into a situation and I made a conscious effort to be calm the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember how difficult it was the whole time to literally just be calm and not express myself. After a while, it became a little bit easier because of the fact that I was constantly working at it, but it was so hard for me in the beginning to literally just sit and not get super excited every time somebody said something.
Right.
Like it was so hard for me to do that. And like I guess like this, like when the lights went out, I had to take the situation calmly. I had to, because I couldn't let myself keep being erratic about everything.
A needling on your head.
Yeah, I can't let myself just constantly itch at every scratch. I gotta let it. All right, it itches. Cool. Let me move on. I'm doing other things right now. I'm pushing this boulder up the hill. I can't scratch that. I can't. Like,
Oh, right.
I can't scratch my nose. I'm pushing this boulder up the hill.
Does it itch less the more you ignore it? Does it help at all?
No. No.
Does it ever get to the point where that muscle allows you to not have your nose itch? Does that make sense? Like, okay, yeah, I know that my nose is doing that thing, but why does it not feel like I need to itch it anymore? Like it becomes
Well, no,
second nature.
I think the conscious thought of I have to do this right now
Right.
is what helps me to push that thought out of my mind.
So in my head,
The more that I tell myself and focus myself and say, "Hey, we're doing this," the easier it is for me to get away from that. Whatever that other thing is.
do you feel like that's that meditation muscle that I can push this off and focus on this?
Yes. I think it's a very very subtle and very different experience to doing an action, and there's one thing you really like feel like you need to do, but there's another thing that you actually need to do.
Right. See, so in my head, that's for me what meditation
Mhm.
and working on meditating gives me is right that there's so much going on in my head.
Mhm.
And so much so that it can freeze me. That I have this seeing it all from each side and hearing it and listening to it and examining it all, and it's all going on at once.
Mhm.
Well, but that means you can also see the plus and the minus and everything, and that means what are you going to do?
Right.
Nothing. Nothing.
Right.
That's what you're
Right.
going to do. You're going to do nothing.
Right.
Well, but that's a decision too. So the hardest part for me was trying to find a calm spot that it could grow from.
Mhm.
That so it was more like, oh, if I can learn how to do that there, then even if I have to like practice my breathing in the middle of the day, or if I have to add some additional pieces to help,
Mhm.
give myself a focus, whatever,
Mhm.
that then I have that ability to at least try to be present. I work constantly at trying to be present,
Mhm.
not just not in the traditional meditative sense and all of that, not
Mhm.
necessarily just that, but I mean with people and not just in the moment, but I mean present for people and for other living things.
I think when I think of meditation, I get scared sometimes because of the fact that like when I get when my brain is not full of thoughts like it usually is, I get very scared because I get thoughtless. And I get to a place where it's hard for me to remember I have to do these certain things. So like when I was in New York, I was always going out with my friends and I was always hanging out with my friends after school. And I wasn't really thinking about like I was way more confident and I was feeling good about myself and I felt like I didn't have to think about everything. I didn't have to overanalyze everything. But the problem was I wasn't thinking about the fact that I still have things to get done.
How are you
I
associating
was
that with
complete.
meditation?
I was almost no, but the one way that I'm associating it is that the more I didn't think about anything, or the more that I pushed away my thoughts, I guess,
What is that? Okay.
the more that I felt like the more that or the less thoughtful I became of other people.
But how is that connected to meditation?
How was that connected to meditation?
So
Because I was doing that
all
same
over the
action
all
of having a
but you were
thought
all over the
and
place.
pushing it away.
That doesn't sound like a calm place. That was a calm place?
Yes, it was way more calm in my
No,
head.
I
At least
meant,
in my head, it was.
do you follow me that I'm like I think of the opposite coming from meditation.
Mm.
That as I have as I try to be more present
Mhm.
and more mindful, which
Mhm.
is it's just meditation expanded. It's I'm
Mhm.
aware that then I'm aware of more, not less. Just because I'm taking the time to teach myself to be able to focus and clear my mind
Mhm.
gives me 10 times the ability out here to actually pay attention.
I'm saying that the action of like being actually able to push away my thoughts.
Oh, but that you
Not
weren't
not
actively,
push.
but it wasn't an active thought. That wasn't, you weren't in control. You were not actively going, I'm going to push thoughts away.
Mm.
This was a
Okay.
sporadic childhood thing as opposed to okay, I'm actively, now don't get me wrong, that's kind of the place you're trying to get to, I think, in meditation to some extent. The ability to not be thoughtless, but to take the time and be thoughtful. I don't know how else I'm having trouble trying to figure out a way to say that because I'm like going, no, that's not that wouldn't be meditation though. That's,
Well, it wasn't meditation, no.
that's
But
right. So
I didn't achieve any of that through meditation. The only thought was that
I don't think those things are connected.
the state that I reach during meditation is that I can take in a thought and push it away, and just not push it away, just guide it away. It's not what I need to be thinking about right now. All right, I'm focusing on my breathing. All right, I'm focusing on my breathing. This is what I need to focus on right now. And I guess that when I'm in a more comfortable place, I almost feel like I don't need to think about certain things, even though I may need to think about those things.
I don't understand how that is related to meditation. It sounds like you're scattered and you need calm, and then you're explaining why calm would make it so you don't care. And I don't understand where scattered and calm are related to whether or not you care.
Mm.
I think care is a decision.
I've always associated them as related, like, because
My experience has been meditation added to my compassion as opposed to took from it.
Mhm.
That if I was that in taking those moments somehow I became more aware, not less aware. I haven't found myself to be like, if I think about, so I've been working on it a little bit lately, and I don't mean that to be some kind of ego driven, am I doing anything better?
no, I guess you.
But I'm trying to be more aware.
Mhm.
I think if meditation has given me anything, it's more clarity, not less.
Mm.
But I don't, I guess that's something you'd have to meditate on. I don't know. That in my head, I don't think of meditation as being a reason why you're less good to people. I think the opposite. I don't, I always, you know how I am. I like to talk about thoughtful versus thoughtless, not like it's whether or not you take the time for the thought.
Mm.
And it doesn't, I don't think of that connect, like meditation doesn't then take your entire day, and that's the excuse for why you weren't thinking about
No,
other people.
I don't mean
No.
Yeah,
I don't mean it as an
that.
accusation.
Meditate.
like,
I don't
I'm
mean
trying
that
to do the
meditation
math.
doesn't think.
No. I'm trying to figure the math out. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to make an accusation.
Mhm.
I'm trying to go,
I get you.
okay, I guess I could, for me, I don't associate those things. Though I do associate play with meditation.
Mm.
So that's why I'm having an
I could say,
interesting kind of,
I could say that the most calm place I could think of mentally. No, well, no, that's not true, because that's not the most calm place I've been mentally. There was, yeah.
are you going to finish a sentence
No,
for us?
well, the thing, okay. It's hard, like, I don't know if I'm gonna finish a sentence. I don't know. I have no clue. My thoughts are just spilling out. I feel like I'm sorry. It's hard. I feel like sometimes meditation can make me more calm, and when I'm calm, I feel like I forget things. And that scares me, if that makes any sense at all.
I'm going to go with no, Alex. But I'm not saying I have an answer why or like I understand what your perception of that is. I don't mean it as a way as in no, like I disagree. I mean, huh? That's not my experience, but that's your experience. And that's,
I'm not saying like I won't think of meditation as the answer, because I still do think that I need to meditate more.
it's
Still
an
do think
interesting,
that.
it just isn't something I have an answer for. I've never run into the idea of meditation as a path to thoughtlessness. So mindfulness is a path with heart. So the idea of being present and in the moment and working on that as a portion of your meditation is that I'm here, is that you should be present with all of the other things around you.
Mm-hmm.
And so by working on that presence, you would be more thoughtful, not less. Does that make sense? That you would work on being,
I get you.
that if you're present in the moment, you're more aware of the other things, the other people, the other living things around you. And in the end, that leads to compassion.
And the ways that they interact. I get you.
In the end, your God is at the
It's
weekend.
okay.
No.
The lights in my brain went off. It's okay.
No. It's no.
They
I find
we
it
had to
interesting-
reboot upstairs. Trust me.
Yeah, right. The interesting thing to me is I always find it interesting to think of, because I do feel like parts of those things are connected. And I know we've gotten into a deep philosophy conversation.
Right.
But you know what? I'm not going to say Monopoly jokes. I almost busted into a joke that would have been like, what?
Everybody
What
be
was
like,
he?
that's not related.
7, 8, 9? What? But I find it interesting trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That what we're searching for is where those lines are, because these are the pieces we don't talk about. Even when it comes to things like meditation, that the reality is everybody's experience is going to be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's like, I read an example somebody gave today. It's like putting your foot in water. Until you've experienced water, there's no way you can describe it. And that's not laying claim
That's
to
a good
some
point.
kind of
Yeah.
that as much as we kind of get all caught up in this, in the vernacular of what we're feeling.
Right.
And meanwhile, on top of it, perspective wise, we actually all have a slightly different definition for just about every word out there. You know what I mean? That we're all,
Yeah.
So in addition to fighting over the box that needs moved,
Yeah.
you know what? The fact that somebody is describing the box as a white box and you're saying it's a big box, and you don't realize that it's the same box.
It's literally a big white box.
So a lot of our discussions on this show, when we're talking about, okay, Mike, where is the line? I mean, I know we get away from it on a regular basis, and that's okay, because really there's always lines. It's, wow, okay, when we start bringing perspective to the party,
Right.
there's the parts we share.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not easy, and we're
Right.
all trying to figure it out.
Right.
And then there's the, from the different angles we're looking at it, and, you know, one of us is coming up, you know what, I'd go into blind mice stories too, but I'm just, you know what, read about the blind mice. You got 3 blind mice on an elephant. You're going to find different parts of it. You're not going to describe the same animal. Still one elephant. You know, you're grabbing the tail, you think it might be a lion because it's got that tuft at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, up front you got I guess a garden hose. I don't know. I don't remember how. This, I think maybe it was a rope, and the other one was a tree stump, or I don't know. But the point
It's a whole
being,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole.
Yeah.
There's a whole blind mice thing, and then see how they run. No, different mice. Those were different mice. Yet for some reason, in all stories, blind mice run together in threes.
Yeah, I don't think. that
3
they're-
blind mice,
I
3
don't
blind
think
mice, and then in the
blind
blind
mice-
mice in Africa, they were checking out elephants. Why mice were checking out elephants?
I don't think blind
Kicking the
mice
tires.
live
Maybe
that
they were
long.
going to buy an elephant.
I don't think blind mice live that long, right?
I don't think blind mice live that long.
Right? No, because they'd be easy prey.
But meanwhile, they're out checking out elephants like they're buying a used car. The point being that you're all still looking at the same elephant
Mm-hmm.
and seeing a totally different thing.
Yeah.
You're all describing an elephant.
Yeah.
But, and then we get lost in the debate, like endlessly. As a species, we get lost endlessly in debate. I mean, we literally have cultural arguments over religions based on different words that just mean God. Like father, daddy, dad, papa. You know, it's like this fight over dad names.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. That we consistently have these arguments that are about the minutia
Yeah.
when we're all really trying to figure this out.
Crazy part is when the lights go out, we all stumble in the dark differently.
And then we fall all over each other in the dark.
Yep.
Somehow we got it back to lights. I don't even
I figured it
know.
out. No, I was noodling on that for a second. I was like,
noodling on it.
I was like, I'm gonna figure out a way to
I
get
was
it back to
noodling on
lights.
them lights,
I'm
man.
gonna figure it out.
We had to get it back to them lights.
That's my new favorite word is noodling. Yeah.
Do we get any credit for where noodling came from?
Do we get any credit?
Who first started saying noodle all the
Was
time?
it-
Who noodles on stuff?
Was it or not? Or was
I
it you?
don't-
Was it you?
I'm not
don't
gonna.
know.
I'm not gonna claim any. I was
I
trying
don't
to.
know.
I don't know. It may be something I say, but I'm not sure. I was sitting here wondering how much I've affected your
No, it's a
speech
word.
pattern.
It's a word that I say.
I love
yeah,
that.
it's a word
No,
that
it may
I've
be
heard.
yours. No.
I don't
didn't
know.
mean it
I
as
don't
a-
know. I literally
I'm
don't
not
know where it
taking-
came
please
from.
don't misunderstand
Trust me.
me. I don't know.
Trust me.
It was- I don't know where it came from.
Sometimes I listen to myself talk and I hear phrases and I'm like, did Matt start saying that around me?
Did that
Is
one
that
come around?
is that where did that come from?
It used to be my favorite thing to do, though. My own little anarchist cry against the universe.
Was saying different words.
No, I would try to get words started, and I would be delighted when they'd come back
When
to
they-
me.
Yeah.
So that it like
Somebody says it to you and you're like, started that.
What? Right. It's like meatballs on pizza on the Massey's menu. I'm so proud of that. I'm like, oh, that was my idea. I had to come up with a beef topping.
That's funny.
That no, I love words. I love like it
Words
is
are
weird
cool.
though because we have an effect on each other.
Hmm.
I mean, there's that one word that you told me I could say all the time when we're alone, but I never say it publicly. I swear. Not true. I'm
What?
making it
What?
Short. No.
Okay. Okay. Ooh. Hey man, my cancel alarm is always going off.
My cancel alarm is always going off.
My cancel alarm. Is
I
just
get
like,
it.
This is the one. This is the one right here.
This is cancel
There's
culture.
no coming back from this.
There's no coming back. But we will come back from this weekend.
Yes, we will.
We will.
We'll come back stronger
We'll
and
come
more
back
powerful
stronger
than
and more
ever.
Powerful than ever.
What is that from?
I have no idea.
I don't remember what that's from, but it's so funny.
Are we gonna be here Monday at 9?
I think so, yeah.
Think we're gonna
I
be
believe
here
we're gonna
Monday
be
at
here
9?
Monday at 9. Yeah.
Monday at 9.
Yes.
Monday at 9.
Or 9:15.
Go 9:15. See you about
15.
Man, 19 and a half.
19 and a half. That's funny as heck. We are idiots. That's funny. Oh, jeez.
Does yours show it? Mine doesn't yet.
No, it doesn't show it at all. It's like behind like crazy.